recording. Morning, everybody. I'm just going to change my view. So today I just thought we've been talking a lot about hiring lately, and obviously we've recently done another round of hiring, and we've had a few questions from clients, I think. So I thought today I'd just talk through how we do our hiring at PPF. Hopefully it may be helpful to somebody. I know hiring, especially when it's your first employee, is really scary. I've been there. I still go there eventually. Every time we hire, it's a scary moment, but yeah, I hope what I go through today will be helpful to everybody and hopefully make the whole process a lot less scary. So I thought I'd go through the whole thing from start to our process and how we do it all. Obviously, if anyone's got any questions, feel free to either pop them on the Facebook page or in the chat if you're on Zoom, and I can answer any questions as we go through it. As I said, this is our experience, my thoughts. I'm not saying this is the right way to do it, but it's just what we've done and how we find doing it, and it's worked for us. So hopefully it will help. So first of all, and I'm a big believer in this, is that your business is only as good as the staff who work for the business. If you're looking to scale and have your team take over some of the work and everything, then it's really important that you've got the right people in place, and you build the culture and the team, and they will then in turn help build your business. So yeah, hiring, scary, and getting it right as well, it's quite scary, but when you do get it right, it's so amazing, and yeah, it will just help your business to fly. So first thing is, when you're hiring, you are selling your business just as you would to your potential clients, but this time to a different audience. So you're marketing your business as a great place to work. So you're trying to obviously get people interested in your business and wanting to work for your business. So we treat our marketing, I suppose, to employees a similar way we treat our marketing to our clients. So we know what our ideal clients are. So now it's time to think about what your ideal employee is and what qualities do you want to have in your employee. How do you want them to live your values? What skills, what experiences do they need, and so on. And what I've also learned as well is skills and experience aren't necessarily the most important part of it. We've always found that values and attitude are more important than skills, because skills can be taught, but values and attitude can't be. So obviously I appreciate, I'm going to caveat that there are some roles obviously where you will need certain skills, and you can't have somebody, depending on the level, where you're going to need that level of skill, but it's something to bear in mind as well. Skills can be taught, values and attitude cannot. So making sure you've got the right fit is just as important, if not more so. So yeah, get a little bit creative about thinking of how you're going to sell your business to potential employees, just how you would with your clients for your other side of the marketing. Once you're clear on who you're looking for, then it's time to get clear on what the role is going to be. So you probably already know this. If you've got existing roles that you're replacing, you may know that role. But if this is a brand new role, then it's really good idea to just sit and have a think about what is going to be involved in the role, and what are they going to be doing on a day-to-day basis, what they're going to be responsible for, and so on. So for example, when Maddie joined the team last year, we hadn't had anybody in that role before, so I spent a lot of time thinking about what Maddie, or the potential person, which is obviously Maddie, would and wouldn't be doing. And Maddie will probably agree with this, the role has grown and expanded since my initial thoughts, and that's okay. And as long as there's that two-way two-way conversation, everyone's happy with the role expanding, then that's fine. So don't feel that if you get it wrong, it's going to be an issue. It could just be that you're expanding and that person will want to expand with you as well. So it's all good. So one thing that we do slightly differently at Pink Pig to normal is we put a lot of emphasis into the job description and trying to sell our business to potential candidate. So we focus on the candidate. So we're not saying we're saying you. So what will you experience? What will you be doing? What we will give you, and who you need to be. So we broke it down into those 4 areas, and put obviously the emphasis on the potential candidate and trying to write the job description so that they can sit there and go, yeah, that's what I want. Wow, I just want to work for this person or this company. And that's kind of what you're looking to do. So it's similar to when you do your marketing for your own business, for your customers, you're putting the emphasis on them, how you're going to help them, what their problems are, etc. You can do exactly the same with the job description. And we found a massive increase in candidates using that approach to the traditional, this is what you are, this is what we do, this is what we're going to get you to do, this is like basically talking about us all the time. So we found that really did help as well. I will share with you afterwards in the group, and I'll send out an email with the recording as well, a link to a couple of our blogs that we've written, and I'll also send you a link to one of our current job descriptions, so you've just got some inspiration there. And I have got a few ideas on how to tweak that job description as well, so I will be tweaking it again over the next couple of weeks before we start hiring for our next person. But hopefully it will help you, give you a bit of inspiration. Obviously I know it's going to be a completely different role, but the emphasis is the same. What you will experience, what you'll be doing, that should be helpful to anybody. So then the next bit, advertising the role. So just like when you are marketing to your ideal clients, you think about where they're going to hang out, what they're going to see, where they're going to see it. This is what you're going to do with employee. Where does your ideal employee hang out? Is it on social? Is it on a job board? Is it on an industry job board? Which socials would they go to your website? So it's all these different things that you need to think about. And this is a time to get really creative as well. So going back to that ideal client candidate, who are they? Are they a mum or a dad? Could you put word out in the playground at school, or on a job? Is there a notice board at the school where you can put a job advert up or something? So just think a little bit out of the box and get creative, and share the fact that you're obviously looking for somebody to join the business. We've seen things like in the past, somebody was telling me about they'd put some adverts on a supermarket job board, which to me was completely alien until they explained it to me. And they said, well, yeah, the ideal candidate may not be looking there, but who's it that does look at those sort of job boards? It could be somebody's nan or granddad or aunt or uncle who does look at that and go, oh, my granddaughter, my niece or someone is looking for that role, and then tells them about it and gets them to look it up. So it's not just necessarily the person that you are looking for, but their extended people who may then be looking out for roles for them. And one that worked for us recently as well, we got quite a few candidates from, was ACCA. I've got a job board. So our professional body, AAT, I believe, have them as well. So we was able to share our advert on there. So do you belong to a professional body? Is there like a union or anything like that that you belong to or could belong to, where you could put your job advert on and get seen by the right people? So that's advertising and get it out there. Obviously, once you've got it out there, then need to think about, or probably before you get it out there, to be fair, you need to think about your hiring process and how you actually want them to apply. So when I first did my first lot of hiring, I just put it on Indeed and had had CVs come through from Indeed, and we did an interview and took the person on. Our process has evolved an awful lot since then. We've now got a careers page on our website, which is where we like push everybody, all the adverts push everyone through to our careers page on our website, which then tells the potential candidates a little bit more about who we are as an employer, what we can offer. We've also got a fabulous video on there from myself and the team. So we put together a little video to say who I was as the business owner, and also the girls put a video together. And we just did it on, or they just did it on Zoom. They just was brilliant at it. They just did a little video on Zoom, just pretty much recording, having a chat, and saying who they all were and everything, because one of the things that we ask for in our applications is a video. And we thought it was a little bit unfair asking other people to do a video when we haven't done a video. So we thought if we do a little video, we can introduce ourselves and hopefully make it a little less daunting. But it's also setting an example for a start, but setting the way and paving the way for the rest of the application process. But again, it's finding what works for you. So for us, we wanted a form that they fill in, which asks some questions around our values. And we wanted the video because we wanted to see the person behind the CV. But also we do a lot of videos, as you know, at Pink Pig. So it was something that somebody would need to at least be willing to do from day one. So that's why we've included a video. And in the accountancy world, which I'm sure there is in all the other industries as well, it's every CV looks the same, basically. It's really hard for a CV to stand out. So everyone says, I've done this, I've done that, I've trained here, I've trained there. So having that video for us really helped us to see behind that, see the actual person and understand a little bit more about them and who they are. And it just meant that some good candidates that potentially wouldn't have stood out on paper can stand out because you can see their energy or and we know people are going to be nervous and we take that into account. But yeah, so that's why we do that. So what we do is, as I said, we direct everybody to our website, where on our website we've got an application form where they can upload their CV and upload a video and answer some questions. But I know others who still take applications from job boards, so like Indeed and so forth, and they just get the CV sent, and then once they've got some CVs that they are interested in, they'll then go back to them and say, right, we're really interested in your application. I think you'd be a good fit for the role. Please complete this application, or please do a video, however, what their procedure is. So that's something that we would be willing to look at as well in the future, maybe tweaking the stages so that we can use job boards as well. We then have quite a strict and stringent, is that the right word, process for our hiring. So the whole team will evaluate, and I'm a big believer in getting the team involved very, very early on, because at the end of the day, the team are the ones that are going to be working with them. So I know if this is your first employee, then this is going to be slightly different for you. But for us, where we are a slightly bigger team, the team are the ones that are going to be working with them day in, day out. So I feel it's really, really important that the team are involved and that they actually gel, because as I said, they're going to be working with them. So they're the ones that need to be involved. So the whole team will evaluate the CVs and the videos and the applications, and then we'll look who to take to the next step. And at that point is when we'll ask them to do like a technical test, so that we can test their abilities, because it's really easy for people to say on a CV that they can do X, Y, and Z, but actually doing it in real life it's very different. I've had some shockers in the past that didn't know the difference between payroll and CAS and things like that, which for business owners is fine, but obviously for accountants, they need to know the difference. And you'll have the same sort of thing in your business as well, some things that they will need to know. And then we've also taken a different stance on, we also ask them to do a blog, and we give them the option of having an accompanying video. And there's a reason for this, is because obviously we've got quite a set tone of voice. We talk in plain English, we don't throw in technical words and things that we try not to too often. Obviously sometimes you have to, but we wanted to make sure that somebody who joins a team is able to explain something in plain English. So getting them to do a sample blog, is another way to test their skills, because we ask them a set about 2 or 3 different topics to write about. So it's a way of assessing their skills, but it's also a way of making sure that they're actually able to explain something the way we would want it explained. And it's not going to be perfect, and we don't expect that at all. But it's just really nice way to assess somebody and how they can express themselves and explain things, which is really important to us. So again, it could be something that in your processes, you'll look for something, what's important to you, what fits with your values. For example, one of ours is simplicity. So obviously we want somebody to be able to explain something simply, so hence the blog. So yeah, again, you can get creative and do these sort of things. What we also found in the last stage is a lot of the candidates actually had been onto our website, and we could see that they'd taken the time to look at the way we write our blogs and how we finish them off and things like that. So it was really nice as well to see that they'd taken the time and the effort to do that, and it just made us feel that they was a bit more interested in actually joining the company and being part of the team and everything. So yeah, that was a really good thing that we saw as well. The next stage for us is the initial interview. So obviously if they've done well at the blog and the technical test, we'll then ask them to come onto an interview. And this initial interview is done by our team, so I don't get involved in the interview. I let the girls do it all. And I think they enjoy it. I hope they do anyway. But again, as I said before, the girls are the ones that can be working with potential candidates on a daily basis. So I felt that that was really important, that they took that first interview. And we try not to make it too much firing questions at them, more of a informal chat, just have a little chat. Obviously the girls got questions, but we try and make it more informal and a conversation rather than an interview. I think that's helped put first of all candidates at ease, because it's not too scary, and where they've also seen the video from the careers page, they kind of know the girls, but they recognize the girls, so they'll know, oh, that's Maddie, that she does this, or this is Ellie, she does that. So again, it's not too scary a concept. Interviews are always scary, but trying to make that tiny bit less scary, I think really does help put everyone's mind at ease. And then after the interviews, we've got a little application form, like a Google form, where we can just put down our thoughts and feelings about that person after the interview. So we can like mark them out of 5 on different things, like do they get our values, could we imagine working with them, I can't remember what else is on there off the top of my head, but little questions to really help the team to focus their thoughts. And we've got the grading, so 1 to 5, but then we've also got what are your thoughts about it, how did they make you feel, and things like that, where the girls can expand further. So we've got the grading, which kind of takes a little bit of the emotion out of it, but then we've also got the thoughts and feelings as well attached to the same sort of questions, so that I can understand what they're thinking, but also they can understand what they're thinking as well. And again, if you just write down how they've answered a question, when you look back, you might think, oh, they answered that question really well. But if you're writing down your thoughts on how they answered it, like how they made you feel or what you thought about the way they answered the question, then you can think about it a little bit more objectively, like, well, yeah, they answered it well, but did they really mean it? Or was it just did it just trip off the tongue like a prepared question or prepared answer? Which there's nothing wrong with prepared answers, obviously, if it shows somebody's put some effort in, but it just helps you to gauge whether that person is really interested or they're just going through the motions and things like that. And it is really easy as well, especially at the interview stage when you've got to meet somebody, of bringing the emotion into it. So with the grading as well, that really does help take that tiny little bit out, so you can look at it a little bit more objectively. And then at this point, we then look to get references, just to make sure, obviously, that the candidate has done what they've said on their CV and things like that. But we also don't ask, I mean, by this point, we're pretty certain we know who we do and don't like, and who, not who we do don't like, that's pretty harsh probably, but who is likely to be successful and who isn't. So the references are also an opportunity for us to ask some questions like, how would you best manage the candidate? How do they work best in a team on their own, and things like that. So we've been able to ask those sort of questions and get a view of somebody who has worked with them in the past and see if they're good, again, if they are definitely that right fit. And we also do a DISC assessment as well, so we can find out the personality style, and that's more for us and the candidate if and when they join, so that they can understand how each different personality type within the business best communicates with each other. So I don't know if anyone's seen on our socials and stuff, but we've done quite a lot of work over the last year on DISC assessment and personality styles, and we're trying to bring that into the business more and adapt our way of communicating to certain personality styles. So we do that more for us to understand how best to work with them and communicate and get the best out of the candidate as well, because obviously at the end of the day, if we get the best out of the candidates, they're going to help the business the best. And then our last stage is the interview with myself, and I'd pretty much say by this stage we've more or less made a decision on who we do and don't want to join the team. So the last interview will be more just a last little niggles that we want to iron out, or any final questions, and discussing terms and potentially offering the role within the interview, and then we can obviously discuss and sort everything out from there. So that's how we approach all of our hiring. I just wanted to touch as well on like red flags and listening to your gut, because I think that is a really, really important thing throughout the process. So we've got two things. So we've got pink flags, which are little niggles. And yes, obviously pink. Pink flags are little niggles. So these are like little things that need to be resolved or answered before the person starts. So just the little things like, oh, well, we would need this to be in place for this to work. So they're things that need sorting out but are not a deal breaker. But red flags, and it could be just that feeling in your gut, are they absolute no-nos, and you know when you see a red flag anyway. But I just wanted to point out that keep an eye out for these and really look at why you think they're a red flag, and obviously go back to them what you want in an employee. Does the person fit your values and goals for the business? And really listen to those red flags and those gut feelings, because they are important. We had a red flag and ignored it, and it all went wrong, and lucky for us because we've now got Laura. But yeah, listen to those red flags and those gut feelings, because they are really, really important. So even if it does mean that your favourite candidate is no longer in the process, just trust me, I've learned my lesson, and I hope I can spare you from that as well. So I hope that has all been helpful. Does anybody have any questions or anything they'd like me to answer or go through? Anyone who's watching, if you can either pop it in the chat or on the Facebook, and hopefully the Facebook chat is working and I can see that. I can only see myself, which I don't like. Oh, well, there's nothing coming through. So obviously I know everyone's not watching this live. So if anyone's watching it on record, either on the Facebook Live group or on the Zoom recording that I've sent out or will send out, then feel free to get in touch and ask any questions. Obviously happy to answer anything that you have, or if you've got any questions for the team who have been through various different cycles, is that the right word for it, or types of the process. Obviously Laura's one been through on this full final process that we've been using. Maddie and Grace went through a very similar process last year. If you've got any questions for them on how they feel about it, obviously then let us know as well, and I'm sure they'd be more than happy to answer. I do know our process is quite substantial, if that's the right word, but as Laura said last year, she said the fact that it was quite involved and a lot helped her to see that we was really serious and we really cared about who we took on as an employee. So I hope, I was very glad that got out there, that we are very we care obviously a lot, and we do want to have the right person both for us as a team but also for our clients, and as she said, that comes across really well. And at the end of the day, we want the right person because we want them to shine as well. So yeah, that's I think all I'm gonna say on it. Hopefully I've summed that up very well, but yeah, if anyone's got any questions, then please feel free to let me know. I'm going to send out and share in the group a couple of our blogs and the sample job description that we're using. And yeah, if anyone's got any questions, please just let us know. I shall let you go. Have a lovely rest of the day, and I look forward to speaking to you soon.